Hey, all you freedom fighters. I did it. I bought a 100-ounce silver bar. But should you? You can call me Freedom, and welcome to Little Bits of Freedom, where we like to have fun while exercising our rights. Posting weekly videos on guns, gold, gear, and guidance. If those are topics you enjoy, please like and subscribe. Now let's get to it. Now I know you're excited to see it, and I'm excited to show you, so let's just jump right in. Bam, 100-ounce Handy & Harmon poured silver bar. Now I think this is a really amazing piece. But for those of you who aren't familiar with Handy & Harmon, it got its start in 1867 as a silver harness maker. But it didn't take long for the owner to realize that precious metals were a much better business to be in. And again in 1867, it sold the harness business and became a precious metals dealer in New York with a niche in silver. When 1892 rolled around, it became partners with New York Stock Exchange, and the Handy & Harmon silver price became the quoted price on the exchange. After World War II, it went through a period of expansion and diversification, adding additional businesses as well as growing the precious metal part of its business. The precious metals business ended up being sold in 1996, leaving just the industrial business behind. And we'll get a little more into that later. So how do you go about deciding whether a 100-ounce silver bar is right for you? Well, there's a number of factors to think about. The main thing about a 100-ounce silver bar is just its size. Now, size is definitely both a positive and a negative. First off, you have to think of storage space. This 100-ounce bar is going to be very easy to store, and it stays together. You don't have to worry about things falling off, things falling apart, little hands walking off with it, any of those kinds of concerns. Taking a look at our 1-ounce bar compared to the 100-ounce bar, you can definitely see a difference. But with the 1-ounce bars, if you had 100 of these, you would have a lot more concerns about keeping everything together. You would need containers, plastic, bags, some kind of method to hold them together, and ability to store them where you're not going to misplace or lose them. Even looking at our 10-ounce bars, these may be easier to stack and store, but if you're going to store them in the plastic containers to protect them, they're not going to store as well. So you could buy stackers. So those may be comparable, and they may be more liquid. So one of the things, the next thing you may want to look at is liquidity or the ease of offloading. It may be difficult to offload that 100-ounce bar, where a 10-ounce bar, or particularly a 1-ounce bar, round, or coin would be much easier. This all depends on what location you're in. If you're in a small town, it's going to be particularly difficult if you have an LCS that doesn't serve a lot of coinage on a week-to-week basis. They may not have a good demand for that 100-ounce bar. They may not want to pay you appropriately for it. However, if you're in a large city, this may not be the case. You may be just fine. The other factor in there is your ability to market something online, because you can always take that work upon yourself to find a buyer for your 100-ounce bar if you needed to unload it. But that could be a significant more labor-intensive process than you want to go through. The next thing is premiums. Generally, the bigger the amount, the lower the premium. This is because when you look at like the 1-ounce bar, it's going to take approximately the same amount of effort to pour this 1-ounce silver bar as it is going to be for this 100-ounce bar. That may not always be the case for 100% one-to-one, but there's a lot more cost going into, as a percentage of value, going into this 1-ounce bar than there is this 100-ounce bar. So generally you can potentially get a lower premium. That's not always the case though, so you always need to check around. There may be significant price differences from dealer to dealer. And then last thing I like to check or think about is the value of the silver versus gold. So here's a nice gold buffalo. These are pretty cool. But this gold buffalo and this 100-ounce silver bar are the same cost, or nearly the same cost. So you have to think, do you want to store a 100-ounce silver bar or just 1 ounce of gold? I mean, this stores exceedingly easily, holds a lot of value in a small package versus this 100-ounce bar. So it all depends on what your method of stacking is. Always have a strategy and stick to that strategy. So in the end, those tips should help you decide whether a 100-ounce silver bar is right for you. I'd be really curious if those of you who have already gone through that process of thinking about the 100-ounce silver bar on what your conclusions were. Just let me know in the comments below whether you have gone forward with purchasing a 100-ounce silver bar or you decided it wasn't for you, or if you'd like to get one in the future and you just haven't gotten that opportunity yet. I'd love to hear about it in the comments, and just let me know. Now onto the reasons why I decided to buy a 100-ounce silver bar. I originally saw this bar on Craigslist, and I know what you're thinking. Buying silver, buying precious metals on Craigslist, particularly a 100-ounce silver bar, not a good idea. And I would totally agree generally. I did vet this dealer out and also tested the bar and made sure it was legit before purchasing. Always the right way to go. But what originally caught my eye was the Handy & Harman logo. This is because I am a former employee of Handy & Harman, not the silver, not the precious metals piece of the company, but the industrial side that was left over after they sold off the precious metals. And there was just some kind of nostalgia about having the silver bar from Handy & Harman. Secondly, I was looking to pick up some more silver. Now, for those that have watched my previous video on my full stack, link in the description below, I am a big proponent of investing in stacking gold. That's kind of the core of my stack, but I did want more silver, and this just happened to be something that kind of fit both of those buckets. The third thing I thought about and looked at was the fact that they don't make these silver bars anymore. Handy & Harman, as a silver or precious metals producer, does not exist any longer. So these bars are unique. They're harder to find, kind of collector's items. I went on Craigslist and kind of looked up the values on other Craigslist sites, eBay, other precious metals dealers, and these were generally selling for $3,200 to $3,500. So definitely a higher value than what the silver price was at. Finally, was the price. So I was able to pick this up for $19.75 an ounce, which back then was just the hair over the actual silver price. I think the price when I picked it up was like $19.40, $19.50 an ounce. So very close to spot price, which I thought was great. And now, even thinking about it a week or so later, prices are at 21, going to 22. So I've already kind of reached that point where I've theoretically made money, if anything on paper, but this has continued to go up in value and looks like a good purchase. So those were all the reasons that I purchased this. Not to mention, this is an awesome looking bar. I mean, look at that great patina. This is something that I could definitely see me even setting out at on my coffee table or somewhere as kind of like just like a decorative item, like something that would draw people's attention and be like, what's that? Well, it's a 100-ounce silver bar. Not something you see every day, something very unique you could have out, and something as well to utilize in promoting the precious metals stacking community in general and getting other people to think about it. Most people have not gone out and touched and held the silver bar and felt the heft. And I know for all you guys that are out there that are stackers, just know there's just something about holding gold and silver in your hands that just kind of gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling. Now, I will have to figure out what to do with this bar. So if you have any thoughts, please let me know. I haven't done any gun videos yet, so maybe I should take this one out and shoot it with some handguns like Demolition Ranch. What do you guys think? Let me know. I hope you found this video useful and entertaining. If you did, please like and subscribe. See you all over future videos on gold gear, guns, and guidance. We greatly appreciate you, and thanks for watching.